Guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about this laser bore sighter from EZshoot. I think that's who it is. EZshoot. EZshoot bore sighter. Let's talk about it. Alright, so we did a bore sighter video not very long ago, alright? And I cannot remember if these are from the same people. It really doesn't matter to me. But what I will say is this thing and the other one, but this laser bore sighter was sent to me to make video content about and make a review about, all right? So if whatever I have to say, if you want to take it with a grain of salt, you do that. But as always, we're going to be completely honest, right? That being said, I like this guy. I'll say that straight up. I've already used it a little bit. I like it, and let's talk about it real quick and kind of talk about why I like it, all right? First off, let's say what a bore sighter is, right? If you're new to this whole thing and you don't know what a bore sighter is, in essence, a bore sighter, which is what this guy is a laser, right? There's a laser up in here, and this whole housing is attached to a stem, and this stem goes down the barrel of your firearm, right? And in essence, what happens is this whole thing, including the laser, is made to be aligned with the barrel of your firearm so that the laser is in line with the bore of your firearm, right? So that you can use this to sight in or bore sight is what it is called, to sight in whatever optic or sighting device you might have. It's made to help you do that a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, a little bit more efficiently, all right? We'll kind of talk about that, but that's just a bird's eye view of what these things are for, what they're made to do, all right? So this guy, I think, actually does it pretty well. And the way that it works, I kind of already talked about how it works, is you have this stem right here, right? And then the back portion here is tapped back in there. And if you look right here on the end of this stem, it's kind of conical a little bit, right? It's kind of cone-shaped just a little bit. And that is to correspond with these little pieces here, right? And they have all these little pieces that go from, I believe this one is .177, so BB guns, all the way up to the biggest one they have, which I believe is this one, which is for 50 caliber, right? So from a BB gun to a 50 caliber, you should be able to get your firearm bore sighted with this thing, all right? All these other ones, they're just a bunch of different calibers. And for today, I think this is the right one. We're going to use this system to bore sight my 1911, right? I put in a red dot on here, and we're just going to kind of show you how it works, all right? Now, going back to what I was talking about, that stem back here, these little pieces, these little plugs, I'm going to call them, they have a screw that runs right down the middle, and then this black, if I can hold it right so you can see it, this black portion is basically caliber specific. So like I said, this one is 45, and it has a slight variance, and that variance is controlled by that wedge, that cone back here that I was talking about. So what you do is you screw in this little plug back on the back side of this stem, right, until it just touches the stem, right? So this black piece back here just touches the stem. If you keep screwing this in, remember that cone that we keep talking about, this plastic piece back here, this plug back here, will start to go over that wedge and expand and open up. So if maybe you have, I don't know, I mean, if this is a 45 caliber plug, but maybe your particular firearm is the bore is a little bit wider for whatever reason or whatever, basically you use this piece back here and you screw this in a little bit to open up this plug back here to precisely, or as precisely as possible, fit the inside of your barrel, because that is very important. If this piece is centered, then this larger piece up here that is coned out up here, if this piece gets centered on the crown or the muzzle of your barrel, then this whole stem is in line with your bore, which also means that the laser is in line with your bore, right? So that's very important. If this thing is not lined up with your bore, if the laser is not lined up, then it does you no good to even use it, because it's going to be pointing off at whatever angle direction, and it's not going to be, you're not going to do any good to zero anything off of it, right? Because it's not in line with your barrel. So that's why I took a little bit of extra time to kind of explain this. Hopefully I didn't over-explain it and lose you guys, but basically, what I like to do, and these things I've found them to fit relatively well, you just screw this little plug in until it just touches that stem, and then you can dry fit it, and I can feel that it's nice, and it's not hard to push this guy down the barrel, right? But I can feel that plug is touching the inside of the barrel, and it's it's in line, it's fine. So you push it all the way in, you can give it a nice little twist to make sure everything's in there nice and easy. The laser's not bouncing around, moving around, everything's nice and lined up. That's exactly what you want. Now this guy works by this one button in the back, right? You don't need to tune anything up here. There's nothing to do. There's just a button. So you push the little button, laser turns on, as you can see back there, and then you just simply align your red dot or whatever optic you have, whether it be a red dot or a crosshairs, whatever, you align that with the laser. It's that simple. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. I'll jump behind the camera here and I'll kind of show you how I do it. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully you can see this. The green laser is obviously the laser from the bore sighter. The red dot is from the optic. So as you can see, they're not lined up, right? And that's why you need to bore sight this thing, right? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do our best to line up our red dot. I can find it. There we go. We'll line up the red dot with the green laser. Hopefully this will work in here and you can actually see what I'm doing. Maybe not. I know it ain't gonna be perfect. But basically, you can move these things around until everything is pretty lined up. Alright, so one thing you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that your red dot is a little bit higher than your laser, right? Because the bore is down here, the barrel is down here, and your red dot is actually up here. So you have an offset, it's called an offset of about an inch or so. So, I'm not sure how well it showed up in the camera, but if you look through here, the red dot on the optic should be, it should be left and right centered with the green dot, but it should be a little bit above the green laser. That's what it should be. All right, so hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you kind of understand what I did there. So make sure that you take this thing out. Don't accidentally leave this guy in and then go shooting a gun. You're gonna blow it up and probably hurt your firearm as well. Make sure though, also turn off the laser, right? Turn the laser off. I'm not exactly sure how long these batteries last. They're nice big 3-volt CR2 batteries. They're nice big batteries. They're not the little button cell batteries. They're nice big batteries, but still, I wouldn't expect them to last a long time just left on. So just make sure you turn the thing off when you're done with it. Also, make sure you take these little plugs out, because if you leave the little plug in there and somehow or other he gets banging around in your case or whatever and gets bent a little bit, then you just kind of messed up the whole thing. So just take it out and don't worry about it. Make sure you put it back in the little bag that it came in, all right? All right, one more thing before we're pretty much done. I think it's just one more thing. When this thing comes brand new, there is no battery in it. The battery is out, so you're gonna have to put the battery in it. And it does come with 2 batteries, right? There's this little cutout right here, so you have one battery that's still in here, and then I took the other battery out. Basically, it's got this little matrix on the side right there, and it shows you the orientation the battery needs to go. It's positive side down, and then you take the housing, basically, and you screw this guy in there. It does not say, and I do not see that it is O-ring sealed, so I would not assume that this guy is waterproof. However, this doesn't stay on the gun. This pretty much stays in your shop. I mean, you don't really even need to bring it out to the range necessarily. You might, it depends on how you like to do things. But you leave it in your bag. This is not something that stays attached to a firearm out in the rain, the nasty, this is in the whatever, in the weather. This is a tool, it's an instrument, right? That's just like I don't expect my calipers to be waterproof because I don't use them outside in the rain. It's not a mechanic tool. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's how you load the battery in here. And again, this is just kudos to them. This is a feature that I do like about this versus even the other laser bore sighter that I have that I really like, is the fact that this uses these bigger batteries, these CR2 batteries. This does not use the little button cell batteries. So I would assume you could draw more power from these batteries, and I would also assume that you can have a longer run time. So if you did accidentally leave this thing on for a little bit while you're at the range, it's probably not gonna wear down as fast as those little button cell batteries. You know what I'm talking about? It's just something to note. One thing I wish they did do, 2 things. I wish, and I think people are getting closer and closer to it, especially with the use of these bigger batteries. If they just sealed this whole thing up, right? So you couldn't unscrew it, you couldn't take it apart or anything, and then simply had a rechargeable battery in there, and all you had to do is plug this guy in to recharge it. That would be so simple. I think that would be very, very, very simple. And then it could be waterproof pretty much, because there's no other, there'd be no reason to take this thing apart. It'd just be peace of mind for some people, and it'd just be very simple. You'd never have to worry about going and buying batteries again. Something I wish that they did do. Somebody has to have done that somewhere, and this is just not done on this model. I'm not sure. Also, I wish this thing came in a slightly better case. What it comes in is fine, just a cardboard box with the foam inserts and stuff. But if I took this thing and just threw it in my range bag, there's nothing to keep this thing really shut. So it's probably not going to come loose and everything go falling around, but there's really no way to lock this thing closed so it doesn't go bouncing around inside my bag and everything comes out. It'd be really nice if they made these things come in like a soft shell case with a zipper, and it just, you'd never have to worry about it. But those are just nitpicky things. It has nothing to do with the performance. This guy's a nice bright laser, seems to be nice and aligned, makes it very simple to sight in your firearms or to bore sight them. It's just something I think is well worth the time and money. Speaking about money, I think these things retail, I think, for around the $30 mark. And to be honest, I've seen guys go to the range and shoot well over 100 rounds, right? Well over 100 rounds trying to sight in a firearm. Whereas if they had a bore sighter or something, they could get the big part out of the way. They could get everything lined up very, very, very close. And then it's really just probably within 10 shots, right? Within 10 rounds to fine tune everything, depending on the distances you're shooting and all that kind of stuff, and the weather conditions, and if you've had too much coffee and yada, yada, yada. But really, within probably a magazine or two, you could get everything zeroed in exactly how you need to, instead of, like I said, shooting well over 100 rounds trying to do what should take just a couple minutes, right? It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying. 30 bucks on a bore sighter could really save you a headache, save you a lot of time, and really it would save you a lot of money on that ammo, right? The ammo that guy burned up, he could have just bought a laser bore sighter and been done with it. Anyway, that's just my little 2 cents on this thing. I think it's nice. I think it works. I'm going to shut up about it. Not really a whole lot extra to say. If you got any questions about these things, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them for you. If any of you guys have used these, whether it be this brand or another brand, I don't care what brand you use. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What did you like? What did you not like? What are some features and things that you look for in a laser bore sighter? And what's some things that, like, if it doesn't do X, Y, Z, then I don't want it? Do you really need it to be waterproof, right? It's kind of what I'm asking. Do you really need it to do other things? Do you like the red dot or the green dot, right? The red laser, green laser. All that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear back from you guys. That's it. I'm going to shut up. You guys be good. Be safe. Appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, and everything. And hopefully, catch you guys in the next video. See ya. All right, one more thing before you go. Patreon. We do have a Patreon. That's the best way, really, to support what we do around here. Really is the best way. There's 8 or 9 folks over there that I really, really appreciate that have stuck around for a long time. Some of them have stuck around for a very long time, and I really, really appreciate them. So they get extra content and things sometimes, extra little goodies and whatnot every now and then. I try to give that to them pretty much like an extra video a week, more up-to-date, current kind of stuff. Also, if you want to support things, we have hats, we have other things. There's some shirts and socks and leggings or whatever. We have a Teespring account, basically, is what I'm saying. Those links are down below for the Patreon, for the Teespring. And also, we have a B channel, right? Because sometimes this main channel comes under we get some strikes from like years old videos and stuff. So in order to keep from just all of a sudden being thrown into non-existence after 3 strikes, we do have a B channel that I'm trying to push people towards, and hopefully we can grow that B channel to where if our main channel dies, we still have a place that we can congregate and talk to each other about things. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to do any of that stuff, the links are down below. As you can tell, I'm very awkward when I come to talking about myself and those things, so I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to walk away. See ya.